There's several ways to wrap a boxer's hand. This particular wrap I'm going to show you today is mainly for coaches, heavy hitters, or people that actually have hand problems, if they can get somebody to wrap their hand. So when I first start off, I make sure that their hand is super wide and they maintain that and keep it right about this length from me so I can get a good wrap. I'm going to start just like I did on my other video when you're wrapping your hands by yourself. I'm going to go around that wrist about twice because I can just judge the size of his hand. And right here with the heavy hitters, and for coaches that are real concerned about the bones right up through here, I'm going to go over here and emphasize this. I go over one time, and watch what I do. I stretch my wrap, I lap it over, 1, 2, and I get a third one because this guy can really hit right here, this Stevie guy. And I come back one more time, and then I go all the way over top of his knuckles, grabbing them right here, and supporting the padding that I just laid on there. Go like this, Steve. Thank you. I'm going to tack through the inside down to the wrist and come to the thumb. A lot of guys when they box, they hit the bag snapping into their thumb, and there's some major bones in here that you can properly hurt, and that's where a lot of guys are starting to have their problems. I come there in that X position like we did in our last video. Now we have a nice base here. We're going to tack the fingers going to the outside first. Do not pull too hard. Downward around the wrist. Go to the other outside finger. Have them go like here after the outside are done. Back around the wrist and attack the middle finger. After I attack the middle finger, I'll go one time more around the knuckles. I'll trace back into the thumb area, back over top of the wrist area. And you can see I get a really nice support. Now when you're done, this should feel like a major, like a cast type effect. Almost like it's gauze and tape. How's that feel?
I feel really confident hitting with these.
There's several ways to wrap a boxer's hand, and I've showed you different ways on my website. But this particular wrap, when you're wrapping another person's hand, is for the big heavy hitters. So pay attention for the big heavy hitters. I take the wrap right here. I like to about once, twice around the wrist. I'll go around the knuckles. This is the most important part for the big time hitters. And then as I go here, I'll stretch out a little bit and make a fold. If you have huge hands, I might just fold twice. If you have normal sized hands, you can do it 3 times. I'll take an extra fold right there. See that? As I come across, I'll come around it to support what I just did. Now I'll come back down around the wrist and attack the thumb, which is another important part so there's no injury involved, because a lot of people when they punch, they'll hit their thumb in the glove. And I'll make that X position like I did on the last video we did with the hand wrapping. Now we're going to attack the fingers, which I do not push too hard because you want to pinch. I'll make him throw his fists. Go ahead. Back around the wrist, back to the middle. One more time over the knuckle. And then I come over inside the thumb to the outside and then back around and support the wrist. When you're done, it should have more of like a casting type effect, almost like it's gauze and tape. How's that feel?
That feels like it gives someone a real knockout punch.
There's several different techniques I use for wrapping people's hands. There's one technique that if you're by yourself you can wrap your hands, but if you can get someone to wrap your hands, you can actually get more appropriate type of wrap. And let me show you. One of the best wraps I like to use is right here. We come take the person, make sure his hands are super wide so he doesn't get his circulation cut off. I go about 3 times around the wrist. The biggest part of the wrapping the person's hand is his knuckle, so I go over his knuckle 1 time. I pull it out a little further, and I give it a couple, I'd say about 2 layers over top of each other. It looks like this. And then I come back around. Gives it a nice little padding. I come through here and make an X. I'm going to attack the thumb right now. And I make an X type position. This gives me a chance now to go through the knuckles. When I go through the knuckles, I go very gently back around the wrist and back through the hand, and now I make them go like this once. Go ahead. I go back around the wrist to the middle finger. After the middle finger, I'll go one more time over the knuckle, and then I'll come back down. Notice when I do come back down, I come over top and support the wrist. A couple times. How's that feel?
That feels like I could knock somebody out without a glove on.